Okay. Good morning. Right, good morning, guys. So, welcome to today's class. Let's just give 1 or 2 more minutes for other people to get the notification to come in. And then in 2-3 minutes, we should get started already. But while we're waiting for others to join, please let me know if you can see me and also if you can hear my voice clearly. Good morning, Cletus. Good morning, Frank. Please let me know if you can hear my voice clearly so that we just get everything sorted out before we properly start. Can you guys hear me, please? All right. Thank you for the feedback. All right, thank you. We're going to be starting in a bit. All right, so it's a new week. Usually we do this every Tuesday by 9 a.m. If you're joining us for the first time, please, or if you haven't subscribed to this channel, I think it's best we're going to be doing it on YouTube here so that we'll be able to eliminate some external noise that we usually encounter when we're using Google Meet. And also, this session will be recorded so that you can always come back to it. Last week was a very productive week. I'm super excited about last week. Last week we made some good profits, and I think all the setups that we touched last week, they all played out really nicely. I think only one failed, but the rest of them played out nicely. And most importantly, I think I took trades from some of the setups that you guys sent to me to check out. AUD USD was one of them. Somebody asked me to look at AUD USD. See, this is the power of what we do here. The power of actually having this kind of live classes. Now, I had my own setups on GJ, BTC, and the rest of them here. But after I did my own, somebody asked me to check on AUD USD, and I did. And I checked out the setup. It was pretty nice. I told you guys that, yeah, I'm also going to partake in this one. Let's all follow up. And I think I did send out the signal as well in our Telegram. We did the buy and the sell all together. We made good profits from AUD USD, USD CAD, I think. GBP USD as well. Yeah, we did GBP USD as well. So these are some of the perks, of what we're doing here, and I'm super excited that it's really helping a lot of people. Anyway, so today's own, we're going to continue from there. It's a new week. My week usually starts from Tuesdays. I do trade on Mondays as well. It's not like I don't trade on Mondays. It's just that I'm not too keen on trading on that Mondays because I just want to wait for the market to settle in. But if I see any good setup, obviously I will take it. However, I have not taken any trade yet on that yesterday, except for the one I was holding since on Friday. Right. So today I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking at, and then we're also going to do the same pattern. I'll also check out what you guys are looking at. We have 1 hour for this class, and our timer started already. After the 1 hour, we're going to be ending the class. So I'm going to share my screen now and start with let me see, I'll start with XAU USD, which is like a very common pair that everybody likes to trade, right? So I'll start with XAU USD, and then we'll proceed from there. Okay. All right, please let me know if you can see my screen as well. Let me know if you can see my screen because I'm on XAU USD now. Please, if you're just joining in here and you're new to this particular channel, because this is where we're going to be using right now. We're going to be using YouTube platforms, so make sure you do subscribe, like this video, subscribe to this channel so that you can be seeing every post that I make, because I'll start getting active on YouTube here and be dropping content that not just edify you, but educate you to be a better trader. Now I'm back on gold here, so let's look at what gold is doing right now. I think the last time I traded gold was a buy, was a buy somewhere around here, if I can remember closely. Yeah, it was a buy, and since then I haven't really taken any trade yet. Now, initially, from the last session we had, I had this particular this particular setup that I was waiting for on gold, which was from this order block here, and market did not respect that order block at all. Now, what happened was that the order block was violated abruptly. You can see how clearly the market violated this order block. So let me adjust this properly using both sides. That is the body of these candles. Now, this was what happened. So I had this order block. It was unmitigated. It broke structure. It met all the criteria here, and it got violated vehemently. And now, when that happened, what happened next? So we see we had the order block turned to a breaker block here, which was a very good one, and the sell continued. So basically, the market is still very much bearish, very much bearish, and in that case we'll be looking for more sales. However, the structure seems like it's changing on the lower time frame, giving us a buy momentum. So let's go lower and see what the market is doing. Now gold is getting more volatile, guys. The pip count on gold is getting more and more volatile, maybe due to the news. Yesterday, Trump made a crazy statement, and then the market went crazier. And you can see that the moment that happened from yesterday, I think the pip count increased again. So what I mean by that is, if you're looking at the chart now, your stop losses are going to be really crazy this period, right, on gold. So you have to be very careful. So if you're trading gold, it's either you're entering, taking your profit and running very fast, because the market is really crazy on gold. So I still feel like we're going to buy more on gold now. There's a structural shift that I can see, a smaller time frame structural shift, and that's what I want to show you guys now. So you can see right here, from this low that we had, the market started changing structure, right, breaking structure above. Although the lows are, like I said, on a very smaller time frame, that's when you can see the structural shift a lot clearer. So right here, let me show you. We had a break of structure, right? And this is the low that caused this high, and then you can see the structural shift from here. That is like a change of character, right, from here. So since we're closing above this high here, now market did come mitigate this order block, and then you can see the momentum the market used in closing this above this high is quite strong, maybe from the presentation yesterday or with the tweet yesterday. So now I'm looking to do what, to try and join this particular buy to the upside. So let me show you guys from the 4-hour time frame. From the 4-hour time frame, you can see clearly that the structure is shifting as well, giving a bullish engulfing momentum. And after the bullish engulfing, I'm still seeing a what do you call this again? A correction. And the reason why I'm going along with this is because you can see how slow the correction is. Most times when you want to understand the true nature of the trend, the correction will tell you, the impulsive move will tell you how the market is going to react, basically, right? So you can see that here we have a 4-hour break of structure to the downside. So this becomes my new trading range. And in doing that, we have the market giving us opportunity to get back into a zone somewhere around here. So that is if we want to continue going down on the higher time frame, right? On the higher time frame, this is the zone that we're expecting market to drop into, so that we can continue the bearish momentum that we already have. However, to get to this point, we can look for how to join in on buys, because from this point to this point is pretty far on the lower time frame, and you don't want to be trading higher time frames now on gold, because the pip count is going to be crazy. You can always get your entries on the smaller time frame and go to the higher time frame. So seeing this now, what I'm going to be doing is looking for how to join the buys to continue all the way to this zone before any other thing. So let's go down to the 2-hour time frame. So having understood this now, what I'm going to be doing now is to be flacking down to the lower time frames. Now you can see on the lower time frame here, I have this, I can refine this order block. You guys know I trade SMC concept. So we use majorly order blocks as our POIs. And you can see that this order blocks is unmitigated, cost a break of structure. There's a liquidity point, there's FVG around here. This is inducing more liquidity to mitigate this particular order block. So yes, this is a valid zone that we're expecting price to get to. However, we want to join the train. Yeah, we want to join the train. So what do we do on the 2 hours now? You can see momentum is starting to set in. However, this is still not a good place to join the train, right? So we go down, we double down to lower time frames to still see if we can get better and more comfortable entries, not just any entry, but a more comfortable entry, especially when you're trading an asset like this. You want to get very comfortable in your entry so that you don't get heart attack, because no matter how small the stop loss, the structural stop loss is, when you calculate the PIP, it's usually very high, very, very high, although the risk to reward is going to always counter for it. Now, so that's why I say, if you have small account, all the people trading less than $100 account, please avoid trading gold. You have to be trading gold. You need to have good account, except you want to just flip. If you're not ready to flip that account, don't be trading gold with a small account. Use good account, or a Profirm account, or a good standard account, 1K, 500, 1K and above. Don't be using $100, $50 to be trading gold. You're just going to blow that account. All right, so now I already have a destination, which is this zone that I've drawn here. So I'm looking for how to join. Now you can see this is the impulsive move, and you can see how the market is giving us lower lows and lower highs going to the downside. So currently, this is where the market is reacting to this particular high right here, this lower high, and we're expecting the market to drop even some more. So if we double down to the 15-minute time frame, this is where I will now get my comfortable entry, right? So you can see here, break and retest traders got an entry somewhere around here. The market gave them this, which is a very good one actually. Very nice with break and retest, because there's an internal break of structure here even before we had this one. So yes, that this area has already been mitigated. So the next point, as SMC trader, we're going to be looking for this order block right here, waiting for price to come into this zone, right? So this is where I'm going to be much more comfortable taking a buy from here to push price all the way up. This is where the market is reacting to. We could get a possible sell from this order block here that would push price down, and that will make it a lot easier and better, right? So London session is already on. The market is not moving quite well during this London session. I think from the London Open, we already had this push, so we might linger here a little bit, and then the New York session is where you see much action when it comes to gold. So it's either the market break to continue. If it breaks to continue, then we will have to look for a way to join the buys continuously to the upside. But for now, my area is still going to be here, right? My POI is still going to be here, and if you look at this from the pip count level, if you put an entry somewhere around here, your stop loss here, about 260 pip, or to give it some room, close to 300 pips, that is gold for you currently. That's why I say the pip count. Remember, this 15-minute time frame. So gold count, pip count is crazy this period. It's more than crazy. So imagine you're trading with a small account. This is crazy, right? For you trading with a small account, almost 350 pips or so. So if we get a move from here, it will be a lot better. And then we'll see how we can. Normally, your TP is supposed to be here, but trust me, I'm not, even if I get an entry from here, from this buy here, I'm not sure I'll be holding, or I'll have that capacity to hold this all the way down here, except maybe there's a very crazy volatile news that pushed the market up. By 2:30, I think we have something similar like that. So it's always best to wait for that price to come to your area, and when you see a good risk, take action. Absolutely, just take action. Please let me know if you're still on my screen. I just had I don't know what happened. My system just, please let me know. Are you still seeing the gold chart? All right, so that's it on gold. That's it on gold. That's what we have on gold. So basically the entry is around here. However, you can still get an entry from here, a sell entry, but the entry is not clear. So this, whenever we have two types of entries. We have like pending order entries and we have confirmation entries. Confirmation are the ones that you wait for market to get into your POI, then you wait for extra confirmation, right? And we have different kind of confirmations. My students, you can attest that I've taught you different kinds of confirmations. Yeah, the candlestick, the candle sweep confirmation, the rejection confirmation, and so on and so forth. So in this kind of situation now, the best thing to do is to wait for confirmation if you have not entered the sell already, because I'm seeing this zone as a zone that could potentially push price to the downside. However, I'm still going to wait for New York session, right, to open, as I've not been able to get this entry yet. My ultimate entry is going to be from this zone. So that is that on gold. Now I'm going to move to BTC. I'm going to move to BTC. All right. So I'm on BTC right now, and I missed out on a very, very good setup that I've been waiting for on BTC. So let me show you guys, and then we're trying to get a re-entry now. So this is what I had on BTC. So let me hide all of this. Last week, Tuesday, we're somewhere around here waiting for BTC to break structure and then start dropping down to give us a new correction phase to come and mitigate this order block, right? So we have a break of structure here. This is a daily time frame, top-down analysis. We have a break of structure here, and then we have this order block. So let me just delete everything so that we can start it fresh for the purpose of this analysis. Okay, so I have this order block here, and then we have this break of structure here. This is a higher time frame break of structure, order block, and all of that, right? Now double down to what the 4-hour time frame. You will now see it a lot clearer. So we can now adjust this properly and see the structural break a lot clearer. And the order block is now sitting a lot clearer. So let me adjust this, keep it down here. Now, I was expecting price, this is a 4-hour order block. This order block swept liquidity, caused a break of structure. So I was expecting price to really tap into it. But as you can see, price did not exactly tap into that order block, but it gave a 3-candle rejection around this area, which was what pushed this price to the upside. So now we've missed out on this particular entry, and the market has grown up into breaking lower the structures that created this whole downtrend, right? So we've started changing structure already. So that means that we're probably already in the buy. So now we're just going to have to find a re-entry to join the buy in the continuation, because I have nothing to do with selling BTC all the way to the downside. We've done that analysis right from the last class, right? So let's break it down again to 2-hour time frame. So you see, we're already on the move now. What we want to do now is to just get a re-entry. So in getting that re-entry, we're still going to apply the same concept. We want to see a break of structure, which caused like a change of character, basically, right? And then that we can actually see here. So this is the low that caused this particular high, right? From here, we have this particular low which pushed up here. So this is where our break of structure happened from, right? Or we can say a change of character, which is like a choke. So giving us the opportunity to say, okay, we now have a new impulsive move, and now we're waiting for a correction to happen. So we're waiting for a correction from the 2 hours here. This is going to be your order block correction point, but we'll have to refine it more. This is the 2-hour entry, but we have to refine this. So I'll drop down to the 1 hour. Now on the 1 hour, this looks good. Yeah, but we still have to go to lower time frames to see what we can get. On the 1 hour, you can see this order block here, but I think on the lower time frame it has been mitigated already. So let's drop down to like 30 minutes and see. Okay, good. 30 minutes is still very, very active. Very good. Okay, so 2 places now. I have this breaker block, then I have another order block right here. Personally, I'll have to choose based on my strategy criteria, right? So I'm going to look to the 15 minutes as well and look at it properly. So yes, on 15 minutes, this has already been mitigated. This breaker block has been mitigated, so I don't expect it to hold price that much again. So I'm going to be going for this particular order block that is unmitigated right here, this one. And there's another order block that is partially mitigated here. However, I'm going to put my entry somewhere around here, using this order block, and then my stop loss just around here. Now, this is a long trade, right? So the risk to reward is totally worth it. So if I have something like this, now I hope you guys understand why I'm taking my entry from here, and then we're going to be buying all the way. So if we're coming back to this high here, we already have a 1:5 risk to reward, which we can potentially get more if you go back to the higher time frame, right? We can potentially get more. So basically, we're coming back down because we've seen the impulsive move, the break of structure, which is a change of character. So now we're just waiting for price to double down to the downside. Now, interestingly, if this is what we're waiting for, oh my God, I think we just missed this. Since this is what we're waiting for, that means that there's a potential of price giving us more drops to the downside, right? And you can see what the market just created here. This order block has just been mitigated. So this was supposed to be like a good entry for a sell because we have this thing here. We have some liquidity point here that the market just took out. So it's dropping into this. So this is a very good entry already. This is an entry we're supposed to take live now because the market just got to that point. So the pip count now is a bit higher, unless you want to be aggressive on this. If you want to be aggressive on this and you can enter directly from here, taking a shot directly from here, and your SL will still have to be where it is because the market will still could possibly push up. So maybe selling all the way down to this zone, just like we did in AUD USD last week. We sold and then we bought. So if you want to be aggressive, fine. If you want, you can easily still wait for a pullback if the market is going to pull back, because there's a possibility of this market pulling back into a zone like this to properly mitigate, right? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait for a pullback instead of jumping in. So I'll wait for pullback down to the zone, and then I can get a sell entry. So basically, I'm just trying to sell to this point, down to this point for the ultimate buy continuation. So this sell now is more like a retracement sell. So if you can be more aggressive, you can jump in for the sell now. If you're not aggressive, you want to be very conservative, you will wait for the buy, for the sell to give you a pullback before you can re-enter, or sometimes even 50% pullback. So just wait for this particular candle to close on 15 minutes. Then if the pullback comes, if it doesn't come, it might just continue selling down. So it's your choice to make. Either you have the aggressive entry of selling now, or you wait for a pullback to enter. However, what we're trying to do is to sell all the way down to this zone, and then we get a buy to continue. The actual trend that we're trading on right now is the buy, not the sell. This is a correction trade. In the buy market, you can also sell if you understand what you're doing, just like what we're seeing right now. Okay, so that is that on BTC. We can actually have a setup right here. Okay, so BTC is done. What else are we going to be looking at? Okay, I think I have something on GBP JPY. Now JPY, this is it. I've been holding a sell on GBP JPY since last week, but it gave me good profit. I did not take, and then it hit me back on break even. So I'm out of this trade currently. I think I rejoined again and still closed it out. So I'm just now watching because the market now looks like it wants to start ranging. So let's track back and see the whole structural analysis right on this particular pair. So GJ is a very interesting pair, and it's kind of sweet to trade it. So look at where this whole thing stems from, right? So let me hide all of this. We first took this sell. This was about 2 weeks ago. I can't remember, 3 weeks ago. And then this market started building up. Now you can see that this particular sell was a very aggressive sell, right? Aggressive sell in the sense that market gave a very strong triple top reaction here, resistance. So this tells you that this particular zone is a very solid zone. On the daily time frame, we have three is what they call it again, triple top resistance, right? very, very strong area of interest. And then this market finally dropped. And the drop was not just like a small candle drop, like a retracement kind of drop. It was a an intentional swings, right? One, two candles, two, three candles gave this whole push on the daily time frame. And then when the market started reversing, now the market reacted toward this area of interest, sweeping this liquidity quite well. Now, when the market started reacting, going to the upside, it was still not going with that strong bullish momentum. It was just going, it reacted here for a very long time, pushed up. So it was giving us this slow. Normally, that's how GBP JPY usually moves. If you have been studying this pair, it doesn't really move aggressively like that, but it is moving at the end of the day, right? So now with all of that, we see that the market has come back to this particular order block where it's gave out this origin from, and then it's reacting to it. So that was the reason why we're trying to get some sales around this area. So if you go down to the lower time frame now, you will now see what I'm talking about. So on the 4 hours now, if you break this down, 4 hour time frame, you can clearly see your impulsive and correction move, impulsive and correction. So you want to see your market structure plain so that you can understand directional bias. From daily time frame, we've already seen that the market will come to react towards this supply zone right here. And then here we can see the structure clearly breaking and moving. So right here, on the 4 hours, we have this teeny tiny order block. So let me open up this now so we can start seeing it properly. So this is the origin of this particular impulsive move. This origin have not been mitigated yet. We still have unmitigated order block here. And then this market dropped down, gave us a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, and now it has gone back to react to this particular high. So two things are happening here now. We're still probably going to see this market drop down to this zone. Everything is on probability. We just have to work with confirmations, right? So we might probably see this was where exactly I was waiting for it to drop down to, but it started ranging here. Now, this range that is happening around here is also giving me the sense that, okay, whenever we're having a range on a resistant area, market is usually bound towards drop. If we have a range on a support area, most times the market will buy, right? That's like a thing in the market. Look at it here. Let me just give you an example. You see this range that we had here. After this massive range, the market bought. Most times when there's a range on the support, the market will buy. A range on the resistance, the market will sell. So if we're having a small time frame range here in this resistant area, that means that we probably might still sell, right? And this is the destination of this sell, where we can start having the next buy, because most times GBP JPY usually likes to give deep retracements before moving. So let's break it down some more again. So coming down to this area, you can see what the market is building up on the lower time frame. So this was the order block that market swept me out here the first time, and then mitigated particularly this particular area of interest, this supply zone. And then we have not still seen that sharp drop. So this is the reason why I see the market has still been hovering around here, forming that resistant area. However, if you now break this to smaller units, you would see that on like the 1 hour time frame now, the market is creating highs and lows. So this is the latest structure that we have on the 1 hour time frame, right? The latest structure we have on the 1 hour time frame. And on this structure, this is the low that caused this move, this order block right here. Yeah. So if the market will continue in its bullish form, this would be where we should be waiting to join in for the buy, right? Now let's go back to that 1 hour time frame. So two things I'm waiting for basically. Since I've been stuck up in this zone for a long time and now I'm out, so excuse me, what I'm basically waiting for is to see this price drop into this zone and react, right? Goes back in. If we close below this zone, then I will still have to wait for like a re-entry confirmation for me to continue my sell. Because I've been waiting for this sell to happen. It has knocked me out twice, one on break even, right? And the sell have still not happened. So in order to get a clearer picture of, okay, this sell, is this still going to happen or not, I will just simply wait for this particular low to be taken out. If this low is not taken out, if this market respects this low, and on the smaller time frame, like the 15-minute time frame, I see another break of structure, then we will just be going bullish. However, the market, I'm still expecting that sell to happen. So for lower time frame traders, especially those that trade, maybe those that trade on 15-minute, 30-minute time frame, this will be your benchmark for an area of interest. So I'm not saying you should just put a pending order here like this and trade. No, wait for confirmations, right? Because like I said, I'm expecting more sales. This market can, start instinctively taking down this whole low with so much aggression. So wait for confirmation before taking any buy here. And even if you're taking a buy, let your buy be a short buy so that you're just getting a good risk to reward. Because right here, from here, if you take a buy here, put your SL just below. This is like a 30 pip buy, and then if you're bringing it back to this area again, this is like 1:3, right? So it's still a good trade. However, just be cautious and wait for what confirmation. So on this particular trade, I'll still be waiting for more confirmations. Right now, I'm not doing anything. I'm already out of this trade, so just waiting for the bigger time frame to give me a directional move. You can see that sale happening right here, 15 minute. Oh, this is another sweet one for smaller time frame. This is a sell that can actually get the market. So the market has done all those mitigations and it's already dropping. So BTC, sorry, let me back to BTC so that I'll update you guys on this BTC. For this BTC, it has closed like this, right? So this kind of closure. Let me go back to 30 minutes and show you guys something. You see this closure? This closure is a closure that tells you that this market is going to continue dropping. That's a sweep, candle sweep closure. So for aggressive entry, this is a good time to enter the trade. So I'll be entering. This is an aggressive entry. Excuse me. I did not get my entry from the top, which is supposed to be my normal entry, right? From this order block here. Since I missed out on that entry, I'm going to be cutting down on my risk to reward, right? It's obviously going to affect our risk to reward. So if we're taking a sell trade from here, is obviously affecting the risk to reward, because the most generous place to put your stop loss will still be here. So give it some room to breathe, and then you put your entry just around this area here while this market is just pulling back a little bit. You enter and then put your SL just above. So I'll be entering this BTC trade live here. Let me get my account. So while you're entering, the first thing you do is to adjust your stop loss to the appropriate number. So let me set this out properly. Obviously, we're going to see some pullbacks here. So where is going to be the SL price here? Entry is going to be somewhere around here. So SL price is going to be, let me write it out here. It's going to be 71, 78, 2.74. So remember, this is a retracement trade. So appropriate lot size should be used. Appropriate risk to reward should be used. Right? Okay, so this is going to be it. Okay. All right. So please set your stop loss and risk what you can afford to lose. Don't go too aggressive. Don't try and do flipping and all of that. We're waiting for this buy to happen. So this buy is this is the major trend. This one is just a correctional trade. However, it meets our criteria for the sale. So that is why we're taking. One thing is to always execute. If you see the setup and it aligns with what you're looking out for, execute. Don't hesitate. Execute. Let it play out. Execute, then set your stop loss. The fear of taking trade is a killer of making profit in the market. When you have a setup that meets your criteria, even if it's going to hit SL, you say, you're doubting it. Execute, hit that trade. If it goes your way, fine. If it doesn't go your way, you're only risking what you can afford to lose. That is the mentality to keep going. All right, so this is said and done. The next one, okay, we still have some time. I think we're still on GJ, right? So GJ is already going. That particular buy is the same thing, right? The GJ, USD, the BTC USD also have very similar breakdown with GJ as well, but we missed out on GJ as well. So this sell is already gone. So we wait for the proper confirmations. All right, so now I'm going to take your own pairs. These are the three that I have I'm looking out for now. If you have any any pair you want me to look out for, you can put it on the chat box now. You can put it on the chat box if you're looking for any, if you have any pair you want me to check out for. We still have about 20 minutes. Can you guys hear me? If you have any pair, if you can hear me, please let me know. And if you have any pair you want me to check out, just put it on the chat box. Okay, Euro USD. We're going to look at Euro USD. So let's check Euro USD. Okay. All right. Before Euro USD, I think there's something on GBP USD as well. GBP USD. Still looking for buys on GBP USD as well. So this is a very sweet one. We had this order block entry, and then we had this movement. We have this break of structure here to the upside on GBP USD. On the daily time frame, which is our ultimate time frame, we have, okay, let's go back to the 4 hours to the 2 hours. So now this is where we are. So all of them are doing the same thing now, correcting to the downside. This guy just mitigated this area right here, and it's dropping on 30-minute time frame. So first of all, we have this breaker block. So we definitely should have a reaction from here, but let us see what 15 minutes is holding. And then this is the origin order block that caused all this move to the upside, this right here. So let me drop down to 15 minutes. Okay, so now you see this particular breaker block has been mitigated already on 15 minutes. So I don't think this will be viable anymore. Since we've had a mitigation like this is going to be our ultimate zone. This is the buy from this particular area right here. We're going to seek to buy GBP USD. All right, so let's look at Euro USD. I think it should be doing something very similar as well. Euro USD should be doing, yeah, very, very similar as well. So let's look at it from the 4 hour. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's a very good internal market structural shift. However, from the 4 hour time frame, we have not changed direction yet. We have not changed character. This is the high that is supposed to change character, right? On the 4 hour, this high caused all of this low. So all this bullish movement we're seeing is all within this particular trading range, from this high to this low. So it's inside the downtrending trading range, right? The range that, you know, that's from this high to this low. So all that is happening here is more or less like a correction. So until we close above this high, then we can ultimately say we've changed character on the 4 hour time frame, which is also a high time frame. So however, now you can see that the structure that this one is building inside here is giving us strong bullish momentum. So there's a very high chance that we're going to break above this and then continue in the bullish move. So on the 4 hour, you can see clearly we have break of structures, highs and lows. It's a very clean structure, very, very clean structure. So it's just to continually join the move, right? Now, from here, this is the last point where we had a clearer BOS right here. So we are looking for a more bullish continuation. And then we have this order block on the 2 hour time frame. This is a very visible order block. Now, you need to be careful with this kind of order block that looks very simple and just easy, right? Sometimes they can be traps. So we just wait for smaller time frame to give us what they call it, to give us more like inducement liquidity, right? So that we can, you know, confirm this buy even more. So if you want to go aggressive by picking on the order block directly, so I'm going to give you like 3 different ways you can enter this trade. Now, this is one way, using this breaker block right here. We have a very tiny ass breaker block on the 1 hour time frame, which is this, right? Again, you can take your order entry from here and just put your stop loss if you want to be, or with a very tight stop loss. Put your stop loss here. This is going to be extremely tight, and I don't usually trade like this. I like to give my own room. So if you're going from that 1 hour time frame, this is where your stop loss is supposed to be, right? Normally, however, you can have this as a more refined entry, So this is a deeper entry than any other entry that will give you a much smaller stop loss. Let's say 23 pip. If you give it some small breathing room, and then we have something like this. But then market will definitely react to this breaker block POI here. And this breaker block could be the one that will possibly continue the market to the upside. It could also serve as a liquidity for this entry to the downside. So this is where I would definitely wait for my entry to come, right? This particular POI right here. So on 30-minute time frame, you see it still corresponds on the 30 minutes. On the 15-minute, it still corresponds. It's just that this one is another area that you should always put your eye on, because here the market will definitely react. So these are the two areas. However, I'm still going to be waiting for the much deeper retracement. This is the SMC way. So wait for the deeper retracement for market to give us a push before we continue. So that's that on Euro USD. It's a very simple. It's almost the same thing with GBP USD and the rest, because they are very much alike. They are very much alike. So somebody's asking for silver. Somebody's asking for, okay, we just did GBP USD now, right? So let's check out silver. Silver. Okay. So I haven't really looked at this pair in a while. So obviously, top-down analysis, right? You want to start from higher time frame to see what the market is doing. Ooh, wow. So after all this amount of silver, did it not finally drop reach like this? Yeah, it's doing very similar thing with gold as well. Very similar chart pattern. So you can see it's very similar with gold, a very, very serious push to the downside. So now it's trying to make its way back up, and majorly in a correction fashion, actually. So this is the daily time frame. Let me see, where did the daily time frame react to? It took out this particular low, and then it's reacting almost nowhere, right? So 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame. What was it reacting to? Okay, so this was what this market is reacting to. You see, the funny thing about pairs like this here, or assets like this, should I say, if you look at this area, there are so many. If you look at this area here, let me show you this area, right? There are so many order blocks that the market was creating while, and it did not come back to mitigate all those order blocks. So what is happening now is that market is taking down all those order blocks, taking them out one by one as liquidity. Now you never really can tell with this kind of market structure. You never can tell where exactly it's going to land on. The only place that can give me some level of confirmation is this area one, and then secondly this area, because this is like a double top area that the market reacted to, then finally broke, right? So these are the two regions, or the two higher time frame zones that I can tell that this market is wanting to come to, and rest to start going up. However, you can't be using all of this now. That's the tricky thing about this particular pair. So you have to just work with the immediate structures you are seeing, the immediate structure. So I'm going to start with the 4-hour as my higher time frame structure here, working with the immediate structure, right? So what do we have here now? This is where we had that break of structure from the upside. Sorry, from the bearish momentum, right? We had this break right here. So if I had this break, this is now my zone from this high to this low. So whatever is happening inside here, all these buys is within this, is still within the sell zone, right? It's still within our downtrend momentum. Now let's look at the smaller time frames, like the 1 hour The 1 hour, we can now find more things because, yeah. All right. So on the 1 hour, we're now seeing the build up even more. So we have this structure as an unmitigated structure. We have an order block inside that structure. So you see how the market came really close and did not get to this break of structure that we have here. We have this clean BOS here. BOS here. And then what happened from here? The market dropped down, right? So this is a very, very strong point and a destination to where this market is going to. So if this is a destination, then we can find a way to join, and you can see the momentum is very strong now to the bullish side, right? So like I said earlier, very similar to what gold is doing. Now, very interestingly, the market actually started pushing up using what? This breaker block right here. So this order block was not respected, and then it turned out to be a breaker block, right? And we still have another zone right here. So if you traded with this breaker block, and you probably must have taken profit from here because this is a very strong bullish move with a very good pip count. Gold, silver is very strong with pip count. So this is a very good place to just take your profit and just leave the market, unless you want to, aggressively hold, right? So if you're taking a profit here, there's every chance that since this one has been mitigated, the market can still come back to take it out, because this one now will now turn to liquidity, because a lot of people bought from here and then have stop losses below here. So this could be a potential liquidity for this order block that have not been mitigated, right? So for the second entry, this is where you should be waiting for your market to come to, right here. This area here, you can still refine it on a smaller time frame, but let me just put this here first of all, and then we refine it some more. Right, so this is where the buy is going to be, and ultimately we're heading to this zone right here. But if you don't have that strength, you can just get a good risk to reward. 1:4, 1:5 here, you're good to go. So let's break this down some more. 30 minutes is still there. Okay, so you see now 30 minutes, we have another zone right here, unmitigated. Now I'm going to tell you guys something, but just hold on. Okay, you see how this one is looking, right? So this is when you're refining. You refine and refine and refine, right, until you get the best possible entry for yourself. Now, while we're refining, we're going to be taking this low because of the on mitigation. This one is going to be a liquidity point as well. All right, so now what I usually do is I'll go back to the daily time, the 4 hour, the 1 hour time frame, which is a higher time frame, and look at it. Does it make sense? Yeah, it does not to look sharp. So I still have these two zones. So I'm still going to be watching the market from here as well. So that would be a more conservative entry. This one is a more aggressive entry. And this ultimately has already been mitigated. So we're going to wait for market to drop down. And in looking at that, see something else that is happening here. Liquidity being formed around here. Order block here. But I won't be too keen on this. I'll prefer what this buys instead of that particular sell. All right. So BTC have given us that 50% retracement point. So now I'm just waiting for the drop to happen. If this drop is not going to happen from here, it's just take us out. But from what I'm seeing, we'll probably get that drop from here because it has done that 50% retracement. So let's just see how we go. We're already in the trade. Let's just see how it goes. All right. I think this is pretty much what we've been able to take for today. You can always come back and check the video again to correspond to see, well, okay, maybe if our setups played out really nice or as we anticipated, right? So I think this is all we're going to be taking for today. I'm still going to be heading out to the trade house for our advanced class and then more live session this afternoon. All right, I hope you got something from this. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can be posted every time we're making live classes like this and other posts that will be coming up for you guys, because this is where we're going to be having our classes going forward. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful and beautiful full week, if that exists. Right, bye guys. Make sure you like, please, before you leave. Like this video before you leave. Hit the like button before you step out. All right, bye.